Hello guys, welcome back. Now today, I'm going to be talking about 10 young NHL players that I think will break out into the NHL next season. Now what do I mean by breakout? A couple of these guys that I'm going to be talking about here have already had a couple of NHL seasons, have already had a couple of solid ones. But when I talk about breakout, it's about really breaking out. Not quite into superstars, I'd say. Some of them might, but a lot of these guys I feel break out into very, very solid NHL players and will have very good seasons next season. Some of them have already played NHL games, but I think they'll take the next step too. Now, some of these guys are kind of disappointed over the past couple of years, and I feel like I could definitely have a bounce-back season and definitely break out next season into the potential that they have. And some of these guys are just coming straight out of the 2018 draft, too. Now, the first guy I'm going to talk about in this video is Nolan Patrick, of course, of the Philadelphia Flyers. At age 19, he was drafted second overall in the 2017 draft. In the 17-18 season in the NHL, the Philadelphia Flyers, his rookie season, he played 73 games, had 13 goals, 17 assists for 30 points, even with a 48.9% court score percentage. And the thing was, he had a really slow first half, and he really did not impress. But the second half, he started to pick it back going, and he started to get it back, and he started to really start performing in the NHL like he was supposed to. And we saw a lot better performance from him. So I'm not completely worried about Nolan Patrick. He had a pretty rough first year compared to what some other guys had, but comparatively, I think that he has a solid one. I feel like that second half definitely pulled him back, and I feel like next year is going to be a serious breakout season for him. He has serious potential and could have been the first overall pick if, of course, New Jersey wanted to go that route. I think he has serious potential, and next season, we could totally see it from him, and I hope we do because he has some serious talent, and he's just waiting to be fulfilled. Kailer Yamamoto, of course, of the Edmonton Oilers, and he's one of the guys that was really impressive. Of course, he wasn't drafted too high in the 2017 draft. He's a right winger, he's age 19. He was drafted 22nd overall in the 2017 draft, and he's really made strides since being drafted. In the 17-18 season, he started out in the NHL, played 9 games, had 3 assists, looked very solid with Edmonton, and really was very solid offensively as well. He showed a lot of talent there. But in the WHL, after the short stint to start out in the NHL, he had 40 games, had 21 goals, he had 43 assists for 64 points. World Junior Championships with the USA team, he played 7 games, had 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points, not shabby at all, and really showed his offensive talent. And he was showing some serious offensive talent with the Edmonton Oilers to start out the season with him after being drafted at 22nd overall. He really showed it after just being drafted, and that shows a lot for him. The WHL, he was dominant, and the World Junior Championships, he was very, very good as well. I feel like next season we'll see him in a longer stint in the NHL. I feel like it would be a big breakout season for him offensively. We can see a ton of talent as the Edmonton Oilers will likely bounce back as well. And with Kailer Yamamoto, he's really driven up the draft stock since he's been drafted. Has really fantastic since then. Edmonton Oilers have a good pick with him there, and I feel like he'll be a good guy to be with the Edmonton Oilers next season and to ride the pace of them to make the Edmonton Oilers a lot better than they were. Kailer Yamamoto, I think, will be a big part in that as well. Now, another guy on this list that could definitely have a great season next season is Rasmus Dahlin of the Buffalo Sabres. Of course, drafted first overall in the 2018 draft. He has some huge expectations on him. Of course, defensively at age 18, he's already fantastic. In the CHL or in the SHL this past season, in his draft year, he played 41 games, had 7 goals, 13 assists for 20 points, which is not that great on paper, or for a lot of people saying, but it's amazing when you look at this SHL, what the points are like, and as a rookie defenseman at that age, it's fantastic. He showed a lot of talent there. World Junior Championships, he played 7 games, had 6 assists, and was really dominant with Sweden as well, and showed a lot of talent offensively, a lot of talent defensively, and overall, definitely the first overall pick by a mile. Really showed his talent, I think, next year. I don't know if he'll be quite Calder level, but I feel he'll have a very, very great season with Buffalo, and will ride them possibly to playoff contention. With Rasmus Dahlin, I feel like he's a year 1 type prospect. I feel he's definitely NHL ready, and to have a big year in the NHL in his rookie season, I feel is inevitable for him. He showed tons of talent in the NHL. I feel like it's just waiting to happen, and he'll show tons of offensive talent with a defense that's, really needs a guy like that in Buffalo. He'll be a perfect fit, and for Rasmus Dahlin, he's going to be fantastic in the NHL. I see him being that just next year. Next up, I have another Buffalo Sabres prospect, and you guessed it, it is Casey Mittelstadt. Of course, at age 19, he's a center, a big center there as well. Drafted 8th overall in the 2017 draft. And this NCAA this past season, where he started out this past season, he played 34 games, 11 goals, 19 assists for 30 points. He then was playing in the World Junior Championships team with USA. He played 7 games, had 4 goals, 7 assists for 11 points. I think that led all World Junior Championships 26 in points, so he was obviously dominant and fantastic there. Towards the end of the season, he got a good stint in the NHL. He played 6 games there, and with the Buffalo Sabres at the end of the season, had 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points, and really looked great in the last few games with Buffalo, and was one of the bright spots there for the team. And offensively, he was already showing it in his rookie year, and he'll continue to be a rookie as he didn't play enough games to qualify as not a rookie, so he'll still be in that Calder contention next season, and he can definitely be one of the front runners for that. He's already shown massive talent in the NHL from just a 6-game stint. He'll have a big breakout season next season if he's healthy, if he gets that chance. And I feel like the Buffalo Sabres have a roster spot for him, definitely. Mittelstadt is going to show in training camp that he's one of the best prospects around. And I feel like, honestly, that big breakout season in the NHL is pretty much inevitable for a guy like Casey Mittelstadt. Again, kind of like Rasmus Dahlin, they're both seriously talented, and Mittelstadt will definitely show that next season. Next up, we have the first goaltender on this list, Juuse Saros of the Nashville Predators. At age 20, of course, as a goaltender, like I said, he was drafted 99 overall in the 2013 NHL draft. And there's in the backup role behind Pekka Rinne with the Nashville Predators this season. He played 26 games, had a 2.44 goals against average, and a .925 save percentage. Definitely fantastic throughout as that backup for Pekka Rinne. And he kind of started off a little bit inconsistent, but found his way towards the end of the season and was really dominant there. And was really fantastic with Nashville in that later end. In the AHL, I think at the end of the season, he played 9 games, had a 2.88 goals against average, and a .906 save percentage. So he wasn't the best in the AHL, but in the AHL, he was seriously impressing. And of course, it was a little bit hard for him to find time, of course, behind the Vezina winning goaltender in Pekka Rinne. I feel like he'll get a lot more games next season, possibly 30 to 35. I think Pekka Rinne will be a little bit more, or will get rested a little bit more next season, as of course he's getting older. He'll need that time off, and I feel like Juuse Saros is going to be a great option there next season, and he'll break out a little bit. I don't think that he'll be a full-time starter, but he'll definitely contend for that starter spot, and I feel like best case scenario for him is like a 40-40 split between them. I feel like Juuse Saros can definitely impress and continue impressing with the Nashville Predators. Behind that defense, he seriously has some great help, but I feel like next season the backup role will be amplified to possibly a starter spot. But of course, when you're behind a Vezina winner, it's a little bit hard to get that time, which I think is the biggest problem for him. I think that nothing is really holding him back but the playing time behind Pekka Rinne. And I feel like if he gets some solid starts, if he's able to get that time, maybe get 30 to 35 games, he'll definitely show what he's worth. And the backup role, he'll definitely show how he's valuable to the Nashville Predators and to be their future goalie after Pekka Rinne. I feel like keeping him will be in their best interest, as I think he'll have a great breakout season next season and continue to play well. Next up, I have Jakob Chychrun of the Arizona Coyotes, and he is a really interesting player, to say the least, when it comes to guys that haven't really broken out yet. Of course, he's a defenseman at age 20 with Arizona Coyotes. He was at the 16th overall in the 2016 draft. And of course, it was an interesting situation towards the draft. He was projected to be like a top 5 pick, and then he really slid down the list until the Arizona Coyotes picked him, which obviously, looking back on it, was obviously something to be worried about, and it obviously hasn't broken out quite yet. And I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt, as of course he's on this list. 78th season with the Arizona Coyotes, he was a little bit unhealthy. He played 50 games, had 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points. He had a 47.6% closer for percentage, but it wasn't healthy throughout the last couple of years. He's both in the seasons. I think he's only played like max 70 games. If he gets healthy and he stays with the Arizona Coyotes at age 20 and to be, I think, age 21 by the time the season starts, he'll definitely have a good year. And I feel like we could see possibly 30 points, maybe even 40 points from him as the Arizona Coyotes will likely bounce back too. He's already a solid player in the NHL right now. He just needs to stay healthy, continue improving, and of course he has the talent. He's shown that already as a top draft pick, and I feel like it's just inevitable to when he breaks out, and of course when the Arizona Coyotes break out. Next up, I have another Edmonton Oilers prospect, of course, wearing the jersey right here. I have Jesse Puljujarvi, of course, of the Edmonton Oilers. And, of course, a right winger, age 20, drafted 4th overall in the 2016 NHL Draft. This past season in the NHL, he was kind of quiet. I didn't realize that he played this many games, but he played 65 games, had 12 goals, 8 assists for 20 points, had a 51.1% corsi for percentage, and I think he was sent down to the AHL for a little stint there. He played 10 games this past season, had 1 goal, 4 assists for 5 points. And he's an interesting player. While the Edmonton Oilers had a down year, of course, Puljujarvi also sort of did as well. He is a player that I could definitely see bouncing back and breaking out next season as well. He is a 4th overall pick, of course, and I feel like he'll start to show that next season. And like I said, Edmonton usually has to run with their young guys, and Yamamoto, Puljujarvi, if those two guys can have a great season next season, we can see Edmonton a lot better next season and for the future. Puljujarvi definitely is one of the guys that needed to work out for Edmonton. It hasn't quite so far, but he has shown he's a decent NHL player. He just needs to keep improving and that show that 4th overall potential in NHL like he already has. And to be impressive, I feel like he'll have to be a lot better and, you know, have a point per game at least. And I think he can definitely do that next season, as the Edmonton Oilers are likely to be a lot better and the team is likely a lot better around him. And I think if I remember, there was a bit of a fiasco with his playing time with Peter McGowan and the coaching staff as well. I feel like if he gets more playing time, if he gets the chance that he deserves, he'll have a lot better of a season next season. If he doesn't play like a 4th-line guy like he was, they'll be a lot better. Puljujarvi will show that talent if he gets that chance. Next up, I have Ryan Donato of the Boston Bruins, center / left winger in age 22, drafted 56th overall in the 2014 NHL draft. In the NCAA, that's where he started this past season with, I'm pretty sure, Harvard. He played 29 games, had 26 goals, 17 assists for 43 points. Very, very solid over there in the NCAA and was fantastic for what he got to play. And towards the end of the season, he got that call up towards the NHL. The Boston Bruins, he played 12 games, had 5 goals, 4 assists for 9 points. It was really fantastic. I wouldn't say they quite broke out, but he got a lot of attention and a lot of great press, and of course it's fantastic to see from a guy who really deserved it and was really fantastic towards the stretch with the Boston Bruins. In the Olympics as well that season, he played with USA team. He had 5 games, had 5 goals, 1 assist for 6 points, and was the best guys on the USA roster. So he showed a lot of talent there too in the Olympics and the NCAA. He showed a lot in the 2 major categories here. And in the NHL, he was already showing major talent. Next season, I feel like since the Boston Bruins, shed a little bit of depth there with Zarnik and a few other guys leaving in the offseason, I feel like Ryan Donato will get that chance next season. Will have the playing time and will get like 3rd, 2nd line playing time, and of course that's what he got last season. But I feel like if he gets that playing time, can play a full season, it's going to be a monster, and it's going to be a wreck for the rest of the league, because I feel like Ryan Donato has already shown that talent already, and will continue to do so next season if he gets that opportunity. Next up, I got Victor Mete of the Montreal Canadiens. He's a defenseman at age 20, drafted 100th overall in the 2016 draft. In his first season in the NHL, he played the Montreal Canadiens, had 49 games, had 7 assists for 50.1% Corsi for percentage. In the World Junior Championships, I think he left the Montreal Canadiens to go to the Canada's team. He played 6 games, had 3 assists, was really very solid there with the Canada team, and with Montreal Canadiens, he was not bad at all. He was one of their better defensemen there as well. And I feel like Victor Mete was kind of surprising, of course, being drafted only 100th overall and showcasing his talent already in the NHL. He's a very solid guy, but I feel like we could see a lot better from him as the Montreal Canadiens, have a lot of room. Whoever's going to be out for the first 4 months of the season, Victor Mete is going to get a lot of playing time. I feel like the Montreal Canadiens will bounce back a little bit. I don't see them as a playoff contender, but I see them bouncing back a little bit, especially if guys like Victor Mete can continue to grow and continue to play like they've already had. And with Victor Mete, I really do believe in him. He's one of my favorite guys on the Montreal Canadiens, and I really do believe that he has a lot of talent there. He's showcased in the World Junior Championships. I was really impressed by his play defensively and offensively, and I can see him breaking out next season as well. I can see a 30-point season from him easily as he improves, gets more playing time, and of course gets a little bit older at age 20. He's probably going to be 21 by the season starts. With the Montreal Canadiens, I see them rebounding a little bit offensively, and Victor Mete will be a huge part of that. Now, the last person I'll mention on this video today is Lias Andersson of the New York Rangers at center / left winger for the New York Rangers at age 19. He was drafted 7th overall in the 2017 draft. This past season, he started off with the SHL. He played 22 games, had 7 goals, 7 assists for 14 points. Very, very good there for the SHL as a young forward there as well. In NHL, he played 7 games, I think down the stretch as well, kind of like a Casey Mittelstadt. He played 7 games, had 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. He was good over there as well. A little bit, pedestrian offensively, but of course that's a little bit expected from a guy like him. In the AHL, he played a decent chunk there, had 25 games, had 5 goals, 9 assists for 14 points. Not bad at all over there. In the World Junior Championships, he played 7 games, had 6 goals, 1 assist for 7 points. And again, kind of like I mentioned in my Swedish NHL prospects video, he has played in a lot of leagues this past season, and that shows the resiliency. That shows that he can adapt a lot. And for the New York Rangers, who are not going to be the greatest team in the world, he's going to get some playing time, I feel, next season. The New York Rangers, he'll be solid. I don't feel like he'll be a Calder candidate. He could be, but I don't think he will be. I feel like he'll be very, very quiet. I feel like he'll be very quietly good, though. 50 points, I could see from him. Offensively exploding. I feel like he has a talent. He's shown that already in the World Junior Championships. And everything that he's played so far. In the New York Rangers, it's the next step for him in the NHL career, and I feel like next season will be a big, big season for him. Now, of course, he has a lot of work to do to erase the memory of him throwing the silver medal in the stands, but him having a great breakout season next season for the New York Rangers, and him showing his offensive talent next season will definitely help towards that. He's a very, very talented, very, very offensively gifted player, and next season he'll get that playing time, I feel, and we could see a very, very scary Lias Andersson next season. So I'll list some honorable mentions right now. You got Tyson Jost of the Colorado Avalanche, Daniel Sprong of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Nick Ritchie of the Anaheim Ducks, Dylan Strome, of course, of the Arizona Coyotes, Pavel Zacha of the New Jersey Devils, Elias Pettersson, Svechnikov. You know, there's a lot of great players that I feel could break out next season, and there's a lot of great youth right now in the NHL, which is fantastic to see. But that is going to be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe. Tell me down below what you think of my list. What is yours? Which players do you think I missed, and which players should be in? Which players do you think will break out next season? And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.